What's up, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we highlight the latest cybersecurity and IT news, highlight people of color who are moving, shaking, and glass ceiling breaking in the industry, and just talk IT in general. My name is Ryan Williams, and today I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What up, what up?
And LeVon Maynard.
How the hell are you?
What's going on? So today we're going to talk about that work from home situation that a lot of y'all are in, and just the impacts thereof. So I'll leave it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article is from CNN Business, actually, and is written by Claire Duffy. And the title of it is one of work from home's biggest losers, cybersecurity, right? Now, we kind of knew this was going to happen, right? Because when the pandemic kind of came up on us, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, we want people to be safe, but we still have to go out there and do what we need to do, right? We need to make our money. We need to provide our service, whatever it needs to be, right? So when all of this started off, this is one of those things, this is why, and we've mentioned it before on this show, you got to bake in cybersecurity from the beginning, right? So when a lot of these people went and did this work from home type thing, they were just like, okay, what do we do to get back up? They say they're going to deal with it later, and then they really don't, right? It's one of those things where, okay, we're not going to come back down. You know, we're going to bring something down to go back up and make money or do whatever. But the main gist of this article, right, and what she based it off of when she wrote it was Verizon's 2021 Mobile Security Index, right? And this is something they put out every year talking about this. And one of the stats they gave in this index that I was just like, you got to be kidding me, right? So them doing interviews, talking to companies and whatnot, they said 40% of businesses surveyed recognize that mobile devices are their company's biggest IT security threat, right? So in order to make it easy, you got to have your laptop, right? You're looking at emails on your phone, you know, your phone's tied to smartwatches, right? Things of that nature. And so what they said was 40%, let me see here, let me get back here. 40% of businesses surveyed recognize that mobile devices are their company's biggest IT security threat. 45% of them knowingly sacrifice the security of mobile devices to get the job done. And that is in quotes. That's not me doing that. That's get the job done in quotes. So they had to meet a deadline, some type of productivity target or something like that. And this is not the direction we need to be going, right? Because like I said, you have people that, you know, if you're looking at an email on your cell phone, right? Like say you have, you know, an Apple Watch or a Galaxy Watch or something like that. When you're looking at something, so like we know people can get to you through emails, right? Through phishing or whatever the situation may be, right? If you're looking at it on a screen that's so much smaller, you may not pick up on some of those things you need to pick up on, right? On whether or not an email was digitally signed or has some type of malicious link in there that you can't really see because you're not looking at your watch like this right here. You know what I'm saying? So it's true, right? Like you just take a quick look at it, you know, you answer, you do whatever, and then you just go on along your way. So next thing you know, boom, you click that link that you can't really see because it's so small. You got a cybersecurity threat in your business. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where we talk about it all the time, but there's pros and cons to it, right? Like, yeah, you can get, like, technology nowadays has made it to where you can get up and running quick, fast, and in a hurry, right? It can be done, but you got to get that cybersecurity in there right from the beginning. If you try to tack it on at the end, it is a lot worse for you, right? Like it's a matter of, okay, you have to find something that may be compatible with what you're doing, right? Like if you're already started on this path, okay, well, now I see that this tool won't work. I got to try this tool, right? And there's testing that goes with that. You don't just throw it on there and hope it works, right? You got to make sure everything is compatible. So you could go through 3, 4, 5 different types of, you know, antivirus or data loss prevention, whatever situation may be before you find the right one. Right. And as more time goes past, right, we see how smart these hackers are out there. Right. They're in competitions winning $400,000. Right. So,
right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? They try to make it work for them. So this was something that I read this and was very, very worrying to me. You know what I mean? Because it's like we should have learned our lesson by now on what's going on with all this, but it doesn't seem to be the case. You know what I mean? But LeVon, what's your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, man, you're right on it. I mean, it's cybersecurity's been like brushed to the side. Everybody's kind of scrambling. I think a lot of companies weren't ready for the pandemic, weren't ready for their business to be ran digitally. So it's like they were kind of trying to catch up, and so they're like in a rush, like you were mentioning, just to get everything out there, get everything set up, I don't care how security mechanisms work. I just want to be able to, with you guys, be able to access work from your phone, from your home computer. Just connect however you can. We'll open up all the ports on our on our firewall to allow you guys to connect from your houses. And so that they kind of use that as like, now they're trying to play catch up. And as we've experienced and we've seen during the pandemic, we've seen all these like cybersecurity incidents, all these what do you call it? Uh, yeah, you said it earlier, but the like the ransomware and things like that that's been
Yeah.
has been popping up a lot. Uh, these things are like been been even more prevalent now that people are connecting to these important resources from their home, and these ports have been opened up. And it's really important for these companies to realize that these cybersecurity incidents uh, can cost them a lot of money. They can end up like bankrupting their whole business if it gets bad enough. I mean, if there's something that they can't even recover from, or if you know, they lose that trust with their customer base. People aren't going to trust their business, the, trust their business with that company, because they're going to feel like, oh, I can't give them my personal information, my social security number, my bank account information, because this company just got hacked like 5 different ways. And as we saw with like the water plant or whatever it was that got hacked, I mean, that's like even more concerning, because that affects a lot of people. That affects the water supply. All of a sudden, you can be drinking some poison water. All of a sudden, they got from some hackers. It could be from another country, from Russia, China, anywhere. It could be from England, or wherever they're at. It's like these things are really concerning, and it's important that these companies kind of take it to consideration, that they improve their cybersecurity posture, and that they're ready for these hackers. Um, and then yeah, and at the same time, things do happen. Even if you take your best foot forward and you try to secure everything as much as possible, sometimes people still find a way to get in there. But it's also that response that's important, that these companies make sure that they have a plan outlined, so they can respond to incidents that they outside of their area control, and they can like respond to as quickly as possible. Even use maybe some vCISOs or something like that, or some other like resources they have access to
There you go.
to,
There
to
you
get
go.
in there quick. Yeah, quick shout out to vCISOs out there. Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's my thought on it. I mean, cybersecurity is a big thing. People kind of forget about it. It's kind of like it's almost like an afterthought nowadays. It's not a big deal until you get hacked. Then all of a sudden you're trying to spin up everything, get caught up on securing your devices. But you have some thoughts on this as well, Ryan? What you think?
Yeah. I agree with both of you. I'm trying to wrap my brain around how to fix it, right? So I think I talked about this last week. I was in a clubhouse where they're talking about something similar with the iOS 14 attack, and just how their employees were suffering from it. And those employees are doing work from their iPhones. So it's not necessarily the fault of the security guy when they had to flip the switch to send you home because of the pandemic, and then have to work around it. But I think it has to come twofold, right? So I think you have to teach the user, like you've been teaching them, like send them those cyber emails, those IA trainings, those things, having them sign user agreements for what they can and cannot do when conducting business, and just like how dangerous your IoT devices are. But I think more importantly, what is going to have to happen is you're going to have to kind of future-proof your work from home employees. I think you're going to have to start to issue them company laptops that can only access the intranet of your company, or phones that have certain rules where they can't perform their normal, Facebook, Instagram, and all that stuff on them. Like if you want them to use it, it's going to have to be through a secure platform, and probably over a VPN of some sort. Like you just got to lock your devices down, because users are going to be users. Like you can teach them all day, but at the end of the day, you can always use your personal laptop or phone to do personal things. Like I can't tell you can't. So only way I'm gonna get around that is to give you or not government necessarily, but whoever you work for, to give you an issued device from the company that's locked down, and say you will not use this in any other way besides this. Like don't attach your Roomba to the government laptop,
Right.
or what have you. I think that's the only way. That's the only way you can really lock it down from both sides. That's going to cost a lot of money. So
See, but here's where I think the problem lies, and you touched on something that I wanna specify. I do not think this is the cybersecurity teams that are out there doing this, right? That 45% that said just get the job done,
Oh
that
yeah.
is your managers and your CEO. That's not your
Yeah.
cybersecurity team, right? And here's the thing: you have a cybersecurity team, but they work to the benefit of the company. You know what I'm saying? Like they make recommendations on what to implement, and there's still somebody up above them that says yay or nay. And like I
Oh
said,
yeah.
it's usually
Yeah.
some type of COO, CEO that says this is the way we're going to do because we need to get the job done, right? So I don't want to put it out there like these cybersecurity folks and these IT folks in these different companies are just like, we're just going to do whatever we need to do. Because I can imagine, like I've been in some meetings where you come with a plate full, like, hey, this is what we need to do to properly secure, but it's going to cost
Right.
this much in money, this much in time, and it'd be like, nope, scratch that, scratch that, scratch that, scratch that. You know what I mean? Like we need to get
Yeah.
back up and running. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't want to make it seem like there's just whole IT departments out there not doing their thing. I mean, I know their frustration in just being told, okay, we're not going to do something that way. We're going to do it a
Right.
different way, right? So,
Right.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because all you could do is give the plan, and then somebody, whoever's in charge of that company, is going to tell you what they're planning on. What kind of risk can I take? You're like, I don't think that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the end of the
Sometimes it
day, it's their
takes,
money.
yeah, it takes somebody
So
like, sometimes you have a little cojones to like speak up to the boss and let them know, hey, this is not going to work. Or, hey, you maybe want to take a step back and slow down a little bit and realize that there's some things we should do ahead of time to make sure this is deployed properly. But sometimes you get those, leadership, leadership that just wants to get everything done now as quickly as possible. I don't care
yeah.
what it takes. Throw a bunch of money at it, make it work. Make it work yesterday. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's very true. But yeah, I think it was definitely an article that summed up the pandemic. Like this
yeah,
is the world we live in, and I think it's only going to extend as people have found that a lot of, not, I don't know, I can only speak from personal experience, but when I was a planner doing plans, a lot of my stuff is remote anyway, so I could do 90% of my job from home is what I learned, and I was like, that's not bad.
Well,
mhm,
there was talks about people saying that this might be their way going forward, even after everything returns to normal. Now, I say the new normal, right? But
Right.
there were companies out there that were just like, you know what, we think we can make this work going forward, even after the COVID is not as big a threat as it is. And if you're going to do that, right, you got to secure it. You can't just
Yeah,
sit.
and I think that's where the issuing devices comes in, and paying for a secure VPN to connect your employee to the intranet back at HQ. I think that's the safest route to go. But again, VPN concentrators aren't cheap, so you know what I mean. Like,
mhm.
but no, I thought that was good. So on the way out, remember, if you have questions, comments, concerns, please hit us up. You can hit the website up at www.theothersideofirewall.com, which will lead you to all of our platforms. Please ask us questions. We love to answer them on the show. You can hit us up on Twitter, which is @on_firewall. The Facebook group is The Other Side of the Firewall. Instagram is The Other Side of the FW. And then you can reach me personally on Twitter, LinkedIn, Clubhouse, IG, and TikTok at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. And LeVon,
Hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
there it is. So please feel free to ask us questions. I love answering them. So I've gotten a few on LinkedIn. We made some videos. I like to keep that going. So with all that being said, y'all be easy.
Take care.